The Cincinnati Bengals preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Circus Sports. Circus Sports is giving away $14 million this NFL season. Sign up in Vegas and play from anywhere. Get all the info over at circusports.com. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app to get last minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. Use promo code SGPN for $20 off. We're also brought to you by our Patreon. Score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with $1,000 prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride. Yes, sir.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Pew 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 pew.
We've got a gunslinger, Sean.
Oh yes, we do. Multiple.
Pew, pew. He's got drip too. I like. Admittedly, as a guy,
Are you talking Trevor Siemian?
Trevor Siemian has a little bit of drip, but I think the man I'm talking about is Smokey Joe, aka Joey B,
Stogie Joe,
aka Stogie Joe. Not because he sticks some
Joe
places,
cool.
because he smokes them.
I wonder what percentage of our audience gets the sticking the cigar somewhere. I feel like young kids wouldn't get the Clinton reference, but you never know, Ryan. That's why we're here educating the youth. One cigar joke at a time. Man, Cincinnati Bengals were almost to the end. Of course, we have the Philadelphia Eagles team preview tonight, 8:30 p.m. Pacific, and then tomorrow closing out with the Kansas City Chiefs. We got your Week 2 preseason picks right, on tomorrow's episodes as well. Just continuing to stack days after days. I am rocking my my Harambe jersey, which our guest gave me as a gift. I remember we had him on for the AFC preview a couple years ago against the Chiefs. And he's like, if the Chiefs or if they get to the Super Bowl, I'm getting you a Harambe jersey. I'm rocking the Harambe 00 for Harambe.
If I recall, there were some container ship issues on the way over here. Let me zoom. Oh, look at that, 00. Not just 10. It's a real symbol when you go to the 00.
Well, these fucking communists at the NFL, and I'm not one to criticize Roger Goodell, but whoever's running their merch store will not allow you to put Harambe on the last name. So yeah, Ryan, this
it's in the filter.
This what?
It's in the filter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Harambe. 100%.
H is not allowed. Harambe and Hitler.
I guess not. I don't know. Hopefully, people aren't trying to order Hitler jerseys, but Harambe.
What if your name was Harambe?
Well, then you're shit out of luck. You're not getting a jersey.
Feels like in 2023, that's discrimination.
Who day indeed. Yeah, thank you guys as always tuning in. Make sure you smash that Patreon, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. A bonus episode coming early next week, and of course the $1,000 NFL win totals contest. Get in now. It's a really fun format. Again, $1,000 up for grabs. Weekly cash prizes. About to mail the mystery memorabilia to the winners from last week's episode, along with $50 cash.
I saw Benedict Dantold was like, "Hey, you guys got to tell us what it was."
I will.
Should we include a non-disclosure agreement?
I will release in the Patreon Discord. It's a private channel what they are getting, but I'm gonna mail it to them first and then reveal because I want them to have the miss. What's in the box?
Yeah, it's like a dick pic.
What's in the box?
Yeah, you want to see it first. and maybe kill the proverbial cat. Sean, I did because this I appreciate Serial not for the team he roots for, but I do appreciate that he carries my bid on. with a who day versus who dat, and Sean got it right. So
yes,
congratulations.
I got it right.
I would have gotten it wrong.
Serial, as always, in the YouTube chat, youtube.com/sportsgaming podcast. All right, gonna hop in, recap in 2022. Then we're gonna bring on our guest here to talk 2023 Bengals. If you're going to a Bengals game this year, you got to get your tickets with the Game Time app. Highly recommend the Game Time app. It is my ticketing app I use. I'm a guy, Ryan, waiting to the last second to pull the trigger on tickets. A couple weeks ago, did it with Game Time. Last minute tickets to the Dodgers game, got a great price. In fact, it's the lowest price guaranteed. It is awesome for getting those last minute tickets. Again, especially like living in LA, it's perfect because so many Chargers fans, Rams fans looking to sell their tickets. Your team's playing them. If you're trying to go see your team in Vegas, which is an awesome experience, highly recommend that. Fire up the Game Time app because again, you can find some great prices last minute. And again, that's
hit
when
the breaking news, Sean.
Sure, breaking news.
We actually I just maybe right before the show just used Game Time.
Really?
Bought us some tickets. We're going out with the wives tonight. Oh my god! Little show tickets. They got more than games on Game Time. I didn't want to out us as being theater snobs, but
yes, Ryan, we will be watching Les Mis with our wives coming up.
They got some cheap seats.
No, they really do. It, and again, the guarantee is great. 110% of the difference if you can find tickets in the same row, same section for less. You can try, but you can't find it. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code SGPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Kramer, the Bengals came through big basically all season with the exception of
basically
the AFC Championship. They were 14-5 last year. ATS record 13-6. I mean, you wonder why I like the Bengals. They have made me a shit ton of money, especially in the playoffs. I mean, Joe Burrow 3-1 in the playoffs on the road. Just kind of a dog.
Is he certified?
Dog. There was no
everything
doubt
Josh Allen thinks he is.
There was no doubt when he went up to Buffalo they were going to get that dub, and they did. And with their offensive line kind of being in tatters, it was weird. They were healthy for most of the season, then got some injuries late. The win total last year was set at 10. You had them going 10-7, Kramer. I had them going 11-6. So got the dub there. DVOA, they were 5th. Offensive DVOA 4th. Defensive DVOA 11th. So again, obviously a really good team.
But what was the story of this team? Like to me, the reason this team was able to get up over the edge is that their ability to get physical.
Yeah,
run the ball, physical on the offensive line. Even when the offensive line wasn't quote unquote good, they were kind of beat like in the run blocking game. They were getting it done.
Well, and it was interesting too. I mean, if you look back at their year, started off slow again. They keep doing that where they start off slow and then get hot late. And obviously they're a team that peaks when you want to peak in December, in January. But again, I mean, they were 0-2, losing to the Steelers in that crazy overtime game.
Excellent game. Remember that?
Oh yeah, won me a shit ton of money.
Fuck yeah.
Losing to the Cowboys. Remember their line was really rough early on. They eventually patched things up, went on a nice run, and closed it out. I mean, 5-4, and then you win 7 straight. Of course, the Bills game got canceled there. 7 straight to close out the regular season, then 2 in the playoffs as well. Winning that wild game against the Ravens, and then just kind of kicking the Bills' ass in Buffalo. So good season.
Yeah.
Coming up 3 points short against the Chiefs. No one can blame you there. Tough spot to do it in Kansas City.
And no need to ask the question. Not a dome team.
No.
Which is why when Colby said that Cincy, I guess, dabbling with potential domes in their future, made me think not a dome team.
So Colby's consumption of the NFL is bizarre. It must just all it is him just filtering news to find proposed stadium.
Dude, I'm not kidding. He's got some sort of email list that is like just old timey football takes and updates on things that are changing the game. I'm not kidding you. He's on some sort of newsletter. He's not the only one. There's a network of them.
Jared Swope checking in. SGP LFG. So he's checking in.
Wow. Okay.
And Jared pointing out, got to score some points with the ladies any chance you can. Again, guys, I can't stress this enough. This is the perfect time. Bank some points. This is when you can run up some, and even pretend like, oh man, really big preseason game. But where do you want to go out? You want to go out at concert? I got $20 off game time. Don't even tell them about the $20 off. That's our little secret.
No, yeah. Tell them. They I mean, depending on your wife, read the situation. But if they enjoy a good deal, definitely tell them.
Some wives who are really on the purse strings would appreciate the savings. Other wives are like, wow, my husband's doing all right. Look at these tickets he got us from Game Time. You know your lady there.
Sean, you know what I said? I said, I know I have to stream for 24 hours straight on Thursday, but let's go out Wednesday night.
Ryan, true here.
Draft day, Thursday, noon Pacific.
Draft day is coming. That's going to be awesome. Raising a bunch of money for the I Am Able Foundation.
And by the way, I'm doing an appearance on a Giants show on Wednesday. Not plugging that, but they used my draft day photo with the laser beam eyes as the promotional shot of me, which was fucking excellent. So draft day, Thursday, noon Pacific.
Yes. Any other big thoughts from last year? I mean, it was just, they were good. Second best EPA passing against top 10 defenses. Again, Lou Amaruno is a real reason why I like this, Anarumo is a real reason why I like this Bengals defense. Like they figure out ways to scheme up against really good offenses, and they face a bunch. They figure out how to get great schemes. Now they lost a bunch in the secondary.
I was gonna say that would be. I mean,
that's the biggest concern for me. And I actually like what they did to add to the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I think plucking Brown from the Chiefs is an old, like, we want to be like you, so we're gonna take this guy.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not super excited about anything they did.
Well, yeah, Orlando Brown, to your point, get him in there, a nice anchor at left tackle. It looks like Lael Collins, technically he's starting on the pup, but it sounds like he's only going to miss maybe 4 games. They expect him back. They're currently moving their left tackle over to right tackle. So once Lael Collins gets healthy, they're actually, I think, going to be in a decent spot with some tackle depth there. So I think I'm optimistic about the offensive line. I think if this season goes wrong for the Bengals, it's on the back end with the secondary. I mean, losing Eli Apple, losing Jesse Bates, losing Trey Flowers.
We can't make fun of Eli Apple in the Dolphins preview and then say it's a loss here.
I guess what I'm saying is I
wasn't as down on the Eli Apple pickup. I did enjoy Tyreek Hill clowning him, but I do think he was a useful member of this secondary. He was a first round prospect. He does have the length and the ability. He's just a knucklehead, and he's got a crazy fucking mom.
I guess to me it was just I don't think he's gonna. You're bringing him in Miami. I'm skeptical. He did seem to be okay. In this defense. It was more just to point out, like, there's a bunch of turnover in the back end.
Here was my big note from last year. And it's kind of like one of the first things I generally do when I'm looking at the teams is I'll go and look at the schedule from last year. And it immediately stands out. Sean already highlighted how they started slow with the offensive line, but really they split their divisional games and they lost the game against a really good pass rush early in the season when the offensive line wasn't clicking.
Yeah,
that's it.
Really? I mean,
so like the formula isn't that, it's not that hard. They won their games. Again, their division's tough. I think you kind of walk into the North. I think we said this with every team, and you just chop it and figure out the rest. And so, do I think there's some areas where this team could potentially take a step back? Sure, but I think the flip side is that they brought in a legit left tackle, and T. Higgins, their second receiver, is in a contract year. Irv Smith basically in a contract year as a guy who's been an athlete. Like, this offense could be more explosive than we've seen.
Yeah.
And like when I look back, I say, okay, maybe this defense, because when you watch the way this defense plays, it does strike you as the kind of defense that will look good for stretches and then not look good for stretches. They seem to be the toast of the town when they figured out like the drop it back and just keep it in front of you. How that just completely destroys Patrick Mahomes. But other than that, like it's not like the defense was exciting. It was good. It was really good. It's the offense that I think is going to take a step forward.
Offense really could take a step forward. I do think I think I would be concerned about them facing elite passing offenses, but again, they have a good defensive coordinator and they can rush the passer.
And they can score with anyone. So I don't know. Should we bring on? I feel like I started gassing up the Bengals there just so we could get Justin on here.
Ryan, before we bring the guests on, listen to that music. You know what it means. The NFL right around the corner. And when the NFL is back, so is Circus Sports and their amazing contest, giving away $14 million. Are you kidding me? You can't call yourself a gambler if you're not in the Circus Sports Millions, if you're not in the Circus Sports Survivor contest. What are you doing? $14 million up for grabs? Quarterly prizes, booby prizes. Kramer and I are in this contest every year. In 1 year, we will be holding up that giant check, sliding in that awesome blue jacket, getting all our chips from Derek. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to take my winnings to chips. Who's going to stop me? No one. This could be your year. And if it is your year, imagine it being your year. You have that heater of all heaters, picking games against the spread. You're going to pick every game against the spread. You listen to our show. We pick every game. What if this is the year? You going to really leave millions of dollars on the table? I don't think so. Hey, we're going to be out at Circus Sports August 24th through 26th. Sign up. Come say hi. Again, sign up in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Circusports.com for all the details. Joining us on the line, he is Mr. Cincinnati. He is the guy who got me this sweet Harambe jersey, Mr. Justin Wood. Justin, what's happening, man?
What's up, fellas? How you doing? What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Doing good. Like a true American hero. You're calling in during your lunch break. Appreciate that. You go, oh man, I got to reschedule. Can you do it during my lunch break? We're like, of course, Justin. We got to get you back on the show.
Appreciate it.
So, what about last season? What are your big takeaways from the 2022 Cincinnati Bengals last year?
It was about what I expected. It was actually what I expected 2 years ago for them to be where they were last year. I think everyone was a little surprised about the Super Bowl year and turning it on at that time, but the Bengals are right now are where I pretty much expected them to be 2 years ago recently.
Well, I mean, it does. I do have a note here as we look forward. How big is the window? When does the window close? What causes the window to close? Joe Burrow getting paid on the horizon, right? But to your point, it does also feel like they've been ahead of schedule, competing immediately.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Especially that Super Bowl year. And the story with the Bengals has been they start slow these past couple years. 1 year it was Burrow coming off the ACL. The other year was him not having his appendix. This year it's gonna maybe be a slow start because of the calf injury. I mean, I know Houday Nation was going nuts when they saw the video of him at the preseason game running around jogging. It's only a calf strain, but obviously something you got to be a little concerned about. What's the latest on Joe Burrow and his calf?
I think right now it's just, even if it's a paper cut with Joe Burrow, you don't play him till week one. I think he's playing week one.
Yeah.
I think he, just has that dog in him. He's a legit dog. If he can play, he's going to play. And I think if we were in playoff football right now, Joe Burrow would be on the field. But right now it's like, why even risk it with him? Keep him out.
I will. I'm going to say this again because not to be a hater, but this calf type of injury, and I referenced the Azeez Ojulari on the Giants last year, but it seems like we've seen athletes get their entire season derailed with a lower leg injury like this, and maybe trying to come back too soon. I think you're probably right. They bring them back slowly, but that almost then certainly locks up another season where we could see them drop a couple games early and then just start getting.
Well, I would say too, at least with the calf injury with quarterback, I think it's a little easier to manage. You're not running around. Well, I mean, imagine.
How do you think you throw?
Yeah, well, I mean,
You
again,
fi- you
Joe Burrow
fire off
fires
those
that
legs.
pigskin. I'm saying compared to like a cornerback or a receiver,
Oh, yeah,
a linebacker, where you're running around the entire length of the field, I think it's a little easier to manage.
Yes.
And I know Joe Burrow is going to be out there week 1. You're probably getting a decent price if you like the Bills, or sorry, you like the Bengals in Cleveland. Although Cleveland, I feel like has kind of maybe had their number a little bit during this Joe Burrow run. Joe Burrow. Obviously, you're feeling confident about Joe Burrow. What about the defense? How do you feel about the Bengals defense coming into this year? We were talking about before we brought you on, little concerns of the secondary. Where are you as a Bengals insider, Bengals super fan?
Here it is, and you guys barely tiny touched on it. What I am most excited about for this Bengals team: Miles Murphy, DJ Reader, Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard. Those boys can get after the quarterback. Like, everyone is talking about our defensive backs. Yes, obviously there's a big question mark, but there is a huge exclamation point in our defensive line this year. Like, we can get after the quarterback this year. I've never in my whole Bengal fandom been this excited about a front four.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think this is probably, at least in the Joe Burrow era, best offensive line and best defensive line.
100%.
That's at least as far as the roster going in. And I do think while there are concerns on the back end of the secondary between their defensive coordinator and their pass rush, I think they're not going to be able to be exploited. And even your point, Ryan, like if they get in a shootout, Joe Burrow's not scared of a shootout.
And think about all the teams we've already talked about where we've said the same thing. And we said, we've kind of come to a point in the league where it seemed like the DBs are what caused the better pass rush. But now, whether it's this Bengals team, the Niners, the Commanders, the Dolphins, we mentioned it, the Steelers, like got weaker second halves. Can the pass rush be enough to support the secondary and give that secondary time to grow? Because they know that quarterback's only going to have 2.5 seconds to hold the ball.
And we haven't even obviously bringing back Jamar Chase, T Higgins, Tyler Boyd. This was a crazy nugget I came across. Cincinnati has been blowout proof the last 2 years when Jamar Chase is in the lineup. The Bengals have gone 23 straight games without losing by more than 3 points with Jamar Chase in the lineup. I mean, the fact that you got Chase, Higgins, and Burrow, that creates like a pretty good floor for this team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, I mean, obviously I'm a homer, but I'm loving Irv Smith too. Like, I think we're gonna have to start mentioning him at those receivers. I think he's going to be a lot of first touchdown of the game. He's going to win me some money.
Yes, love a good tight end first touchdown. Justin knows that well.
Well, Sean,
yes,
this is the team that Mitchell Wilcox plays on. He is on the pup right now.
Look out!
But he has made us some money. But Drew Sample's the guy that you got to circle there.
Drew Sample, well, and of course,
2 tight end sets.
My boy, local mechanic turned receiver, Trenton Irwin. I'm hearing a lot of buzz about Trenton Irwin and him having a stellar camp. How many touchdowns Trenton Irwin gets us this year, Justin?
He's going to give you 6 clutch touchdowns.
Oh
wow. Okay, I like 6.
That's we're taking the over.
He's a guy that's going to be. I mean, he had 4 last year. He's a guy that's like a week 1 is going to be like 6-1, 7-1 anytime touchdown, 50-1 first touchdown. Again, they use this guy, and I think look out because he's a guy that's pretty good catching the ball, kind of like a this generation's Cole Beasley, Ryan. Although Cole Beasley's still in the
still
Giants,
around, still getting open. I think he's probably not as good as Cole Beasley, but
I think right now, as much as I love Tyler Boyd, you're looking at his replacement next season. I think that's I think that's what he's being groomed right now to, take over that number 3.
What about, do you think there's going to be any, we've seen drama with Lamar. We've seen drama with the running backs. Is there expected to be any sort of drama with Joe Burrow and his contract situation? Because again, it's looming. He had that injury. Does the deal get done before he comes back? What do you think happens with the Burrow contract?
I am beyond wishful thinking on this, but I want to believe that it's being held out right now because they're trying to figure out a way for him and Higgins. I've also heard that he might be the first player to have almost like an NBA max contract type deal where he'll get a certain percentage of the pay cap. So when the pay cap goes up, he'll reap more money that way as well.
Oh man, the NFL owners would hate the Bengals owner if he did that, but the Bengals owner are notoriously cheap and probably doesn't have, because when you give those mega contracts, you have to put the money in escrow. So maybe he's thinking like, hey, if I just give him a cut of like future salary cap percentage, he's probably sweating here a little bit, figuring out how they're going to get this deal done.
For sure.
What about and we'll get to the odds here. Walk through the schedule. Joe Mixon, obviously dealing with some off the field issues. I went on the Bengals subreddit, and according to a guy posting on Reddit, quote, "Sounds like a huge nothing burger." According to this guy, what have you heard about Mixon? It seems like he's not going to get suspended, but are you worried something comes out, or what's your take on the situation?
I'm not worried. I mean, if the Browns still have a quarterback, so I don't think anything can be nearly as bad as that. So we're just going to look. Anything can be looked past. But I also think that Mixon has accepted his new role, and that's why he took a pay cut to stay on this team, because he knows right now he is our sore thumb, and he needs to tighten it up off the field. But on the field, I'm excited about him. I guess he's the black sheep of the family right now. So
he's causing some trouble, some waves. But yeah, I mean, even if they lose Mixon, I don't think it's going to be. Chris Evans has looked okay. I think they'll be able to figure it out if Mixon ends up sitting for a couple games. Kramer, let's talk odds here and then get to the schedule.
Sorry, I accidentally Googled Joe Mixon. I mean, it's almost like people forget what happened in college. We're just gonna look right on Pat. Oh, this is shocking behavior. All right,
100%.
All right, so Sean, I mean, we're officially in the rare air of 11.5.
11.5 wins, obviously super high. Make playoffs -255, miss playoffs +215, division +150, conference 6-1, Super Bowl 11-1. So price pretty similarly, I guess, to the Buffalo Bills, although the Buffalo Bills were down to 10.5, Cincinnati 11.5, which is a super high win total. I think, teams with win totals over 10.5 have only hit 46%. You take out Tom Brady, you knock it down to 40. But again, this Bengals team
is this the new Tom Brady?
Joe Burrow, yeah,
Joe.
Said assist Tom. I see what you're doing there.
Assist Joe.
I mean, again, 12-4 last season. Of course, they missed that one game a year before, 10-6, and then making it to the Super Bowl. So minus that first year, he's been double-digit wins both years in his career. Small sample size, but it's hard not to be optimistic about them coming in.
Ever since he left Urban Meyer.
Yeah,
things have been fucking excellent for Joe Burrow.
Things have been coming up rosy for Joe Burrow. Let's talk about the schedule. Let's get that going. Let's walk through it.
Yeah, and honestly, like, as much as I love to be a hater, Joe Burrow really, like, as a youth sports coach, Joe Burrow is the guy you want on your team. Guy's just gonna wait. I don't know what it is. He doesn't look. Although he has really nice posture when he's walking. You see some of those videos of him walking around practice, like he's puffing his. That we all understand that he's the alpha.
Oh, have you seen that headband on him? Come on.
Oh.
the Bengals fan base is hilarious. They're like, look at Madden posting this Joe Burrow thirst trap. Like the women, and I would say 70% of the men are just in love with their Joe Burrow.
You want a thirst trap? Just Google Joe Burrow white party. If you're into that kind of thing, you'll be really into that kind of thing. All right.
Yeah, I'm not racist.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I could see at Browns abort at Browns. So again, we said I'm committing to it. Full split on the season. At Browns, Ravens at home, Rams at home on Monday Night Football. Interesting primetime selection here. I guess there's some history. At Titans, Week 4. All right, Sean, I'll keep this simple.
Yes,
I think they lose that Browns game.
Browns game's going to be tough. Again, Browns.
After that,
Browns have done well against Joe Burrow historically.
Yeah. After that, I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I mean I don't know if I can find a loss.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean at Titans, I think is actually again, I'm higher on.
Sean's very high on the Titans.
I'm higher on the Titans than most. I think they bring a physicality that will be interesting.
The Bengals,
I think.
too.
Well, yeah, and again, I think Titans, kind of a poor man's Bengals in a lot of ways, have some secondary issues that I think the Bengals would be able to exploit. I don't know about them being 4.5 point road favorites there.
The world's pretty down on the Titans. You're really high on the Titans compared to the world.
Great.
It's so
me against the world. You got to have a couple teams that are your teams, right?
I like them as well. So you saying 2-2?
I could see 2-2.
They start slow
because of their history of starting slow and maybe Burrow plays, but he's not 100%.
Bengals flow chart. They start slow, 2-2.
I'm going 2-2, but again, what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and get my big hot take right out of the way right now. That will help us for this. This Cincinnati Bengals team this year is going to sweep the AFC North.
Oh
my God!
What?
I think we're going to do it.
Oh my good. All right, so that's 4-0.
You know what? I'll give the Titans. Titans will give us a heat check. I'll go 3-1 to be humble.
I like
there you
that.
go.
I like that. I like.
He doesn't want to jinx it either. I can tell he's got some superstition in him.
Vrabel is a heat check guy. All right, at Cardinals, that's a back-to-back road spot. Seahawks at home by week 7. Week 7, the second. I think it's the second most popular bye week after 13. Right in the middle of the season. Then coming off the bye at Niners, Bills. Sunday night football at home. That one's gonna matter.
Oh yeah.
What are we thinking here?
I mean, again, I pitched this on the Bills episode. That game should count for 2 games.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I thought we hit.
What's wrong?
Justin. What were you saying?
I don't know. I don't trust the Bills. They did that whole theatrics last year to get out of playing us. So, I mean, we saw what happened in the playoffs.
Damar Hamlin body double, that whole fake.
Yeah.
The deep fake.
Yeah, I was at the game. I can make that joke.
Yeah, he was there. He was allowed to.
No, but that's the only game I'm scared of in that run of games is. And just to be humble, I'll give Buffalo that, even though I'm not giving Buffalo shit. Yeah, no, we're gonna win that stretch.
So you got him going 4-0 here, huh?
Yeah, I'll be at the Cardinals and 49ers games, so they'll definitely win those because.
Okay, that swings it for me. I kind of agree. I think this is a hot spot, a hot stretch for this Bengals team. I think they go 4-0. I think this is where things start clicking for them. Nice little run. Kramer?
I'll join you.
Okay.
Cause Niners coming off a Monday night spot in the spaceship.
Yeah. And I think they can get to whoever's playing quarterback for them. I think this Bengals defensive line will get up for that game coming off the bye. Again, we pointed out with the Niners, like they play 4 teams coming off the bye. The Bengals are one of them. I think they're going to be chomping off the bit with a slightly slow start. So 6-2 makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, Buffalo has that mini bye too. If you remember, they're coming off Thursday night football. So 4-0. I don't do that too often.
No,
4-0. All right.
Breaking
next
news.
4 Texans at home. That's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah.
At Ravens.
Well, I mean that they should destroy him. The spread's 10.5.
Sandwich spot.
But it is a easy game to look ahead, right? Or look past because you just played the Bills at home.
Yep.
Crazy primetime emotional game. And then you have the Ravens on a short week up next. I can't predict they're going to lose, but man, Texans getting the points there is certainly intriguing.
So Texans at Ravens Thursday night football, Steelers at home at Jags on Monday night football. All right. So I said I was going to split the division games. And so that's 1-1 to start. I do think the Texans is going to be a fun ATS bet. I don't know if I can take them to actually win the game outright.
Yeah.
And at Jags, I do worry a little bit. That's close to that. That's kind of like similar to college vibes for Chase and Burrow and the boys. We know, what do we say about Jacksonville, Sean? Good teams. Weird shit happens to them in Jacksonville. I'll go 2-2.
2-2. Wow. Okay. I mean, at Ravens, to your point.
Yeah, I'm chopping it. I'm not like Justin going full honk and saying sweep. I'm saying I'm going chop. So I'm saying that's the loss, and the Jags is the loss.
Yeah, I'm slightly more down on the Jags than most. I'm gonna say 3-1 at Ravens Thursday night is just it's an road Thursday night games are always brutal.
Yeah.
So I'll go 3-1. Justin, how say you?
I'll go 3-1. Primetime Bengals scare me sometimes. That Jaguars team I think is pretty tough, and I think coming off of 2 emotional AFC North wins, that might be a slip. That might be a slip right there.
I love the way that he just comes in with a swing on the division, just to be like, yeah, and this team from the South will give us another heat check. Yeah, he's having them lose all their games to the AFC South. It's great. You can't be taken seriously. All right, all right, so where are we at, Sean? Give me the recap.
Okay, right now looking at the numbers, I'm at 9-3. You're at 8-4. Ryan, Justin out ahead of market here at 10-2.
Let's close it up. Colts, which I guess it seems like Anthony Richardson might be the starter day one.
Yes, breaking news. I said a million times on the show.
That's an easy win. Vikings at home. Kirk Cousins going outside. That doesn't seem good. At Steelers, that's a loss on a Saturday. At Chiefs, back-to-back road spot. Interesting that they play so late in the season. I think the Bengals actually dropped that one because they care more about the matchup in the postseason. And then the Browns, I said I'd chop it. They win that one, so that's a 3-2 for me.
3-2. Yeah, let's see if I can figure a 4-1 here.
Did I do it right?
Colts and Vikings. You obviously like playing 2 dome teams in Cincinnati late in the year. To your point, at Steelers is a tough spot. They do get the extra rest against the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull that one off. And then Browns at home. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go 4-1. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals going 13-4.
4-1, huh?
Yes. I think as long as this leg holds up for Joe Burrow, I mean, I like the addition of the offensive line. I think they do have a very good pass rush. I think they're going to be able to hide whatever weaknesses they have in the secondary. So yeah, give me the Bengals over 11.5 wins. Justin, how say you on the final stretch of games?
I say out of all those teams, the Vikings scare me the worst. I think
really?
Joe Burrow's 3-1 against the Chiefs, so that game doesn't scare me.
Ooh.
I think the NFL. I think that was the biggest mess up of the NFL. Why is that a New Year's Eve game? That should have been way earlier in the season, if you ask me. So who knows? I'll say that I'll go 4-1.
Yeah, the Chiefs game should be like week 3.
Yeah,
instead of that Rams game.
So Justin coming in with a very reasonable 14-3 straight up. I'm right there with you though. I got the Bengals going 13-4. I don't mind obviously I like to make playoffs. I don't think you need to put it down at -255. Give me the conference at 6-1. I think that's
really.
Yeah.
So they were the first team I came across that had worse 1 seed odds than conference odds.
What are their 1 seed odds?
Plus 510.
Okay. Yeah, because
that was surprising to me. Remember the Ravens were the opposite. It was like,
I think what they're factoring in is a la when they were 10-6 and got to the Super Bowl that Joe Burrow can win road playoff games. So in this case, and they start off slow. So I actually like win the AFC better than number 1 seed for this Bengals team. Justin, any prop bets, any futures bets you like here for the Bengals win the division plus 150? I would assume you're on.
Oh yeah, that's free money.
All right.
The fact that they're plus odds, how ridiculous.
Do
you like the division price better than are you? See, I looked at even if I like the Bengals, I feel like I wouldn't want to play the division price because their division just feels
plus 150. Again, that's why I like AFC with them to win the AFC because I think they can figure out a bunch of ways to get it done in the playoffs. I do like this Steelers and Bengals to be the top 2 teams plus 340 because obviously the Bengals are the other team I'm super high on in this division.
Steelers.
Yeah.
Oh, you said Bengals.
Oh, sorry, Steelers and Bengals. Yeah, plus top 2 plus 340 there. Are you going conference, Justin? Are you going Super Bowl? What are we throwing out here?
Let's go conference. Let's just do something. I don't want to, jinx anything. Conference it is.
Conference it is. What about some player props? Do you have any?
Dude, Joe Burrow MVP. Give me that all day.
Well, so what's that price, Sean? Because that to me, that's the. Do you like that better than winning the conference?
It's interesting. I mean, again, I'm gonna pull it up. I think it's like 8-1, plus 750. I'm seeing right now. I'll just stick with win the AFC because again, I could see the, slow start causing them not to, me picking them 13-4. I'm thinking right now the calf isn't going to be an issue, but I could see the calf being an issue, a little slow start, eking in the playoffs at maybe 11-6, and then going on a little bit of a run from there. I think win the conference. I feel like I have the most outs with this team. And I feel like they have a chip on their shoulder. I mean, again, with what went down in Buffalo, I just think they felt like they got the short end of the stick last year. I think they're going to come in hungry. I like them to show up in the playoffs. I feel pretty good about the regular season, but I feel the best about them making a run late in the season.
You want something? How spicy you want me to go to start?
Well, one I was going to throw out, and I'd like Justin's take on this.
Okay.
Most regular receiving yards for the AFC North, just the AFC North.
Ooh, I love these
Jamar
bets.
Chase is minus 200. That's no fun. T Higgins plus 550. What do you think about T Higgins having more receiving yards than Jamar Chase?
I like
crazy?
it. No, I like it.
Yeah, and I think I think the winner is going to be one of these two guys. So I'll take I think it's much closer than people think. So I'm going to take T Higgins to get, it done at plus 5.
They always show that graphic, like the fantasy nerds love it, where you show the side by sides of all the analytics, and it's like, they're basically the same player, and Chase scores more, has more big plays.
Yeah,
and sure, I think why not play the variance of that? The problem is that if Chase doesn't get hurt, you're toasted, right?
Not necessarily, but yeah, I would say if both guys play 17 games, yeah, your odds of hitting it are slim, but again, it's plus 550. So all you need is like 1 or 2 hiccups. Maybe teams go out of their way to really shut down Jamar Chase a couple games.
Well, how often
rolls an ankle?
How often do you only get 1 or 2 hiccups?
What do you mean?
I usually end up with more than 1 or 2 hiccups.
Yeah, I know. Usually it's a multiple hiccup thing. I mean, the argument against it is he did beat T Higgins last year while missing 5 games. One of those was that Bills game, whereas T Higgins played 16 and still couldn't beat him. So,
all right, I got some shit for you.
What do we got?
All right, Bengals finish in 3rd place in the division, plus 285.
Bengals 3rd place in the division.
I'm looking at you, Mr. Wood. All right, we also got exact result, and I'm kind of playing. This is like horse racing style, so I'm going to play the Ravens and the Steelers to finish top 2.
Okay,
and then Bengals 3rd, Browns 4th.
So wait, Ravens, Steelers,
Bengals, Browns.
Okay.
And then Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns. They're both 25-1.
Okay.
So I'm basically playing both versions of the Browns and Bengals being in the bottom half of the division.
Well,
but in my version, I think the Bengals are still making the playoffs.
Oh, okay. So you think it's going to be a divisional tiebreaker type thing? The look on Justin's face as he's hearing this slander from Kramer. Justin,
Steelers 12-5, Ravens 12-5,
and I feel like for people who listen to last year's preview, we have to. I don't know if we got a conclusion to the what was it, Joe Mixon versus Saquon Barkley, who has more fantasy points. Of course, Joe Mixon did have 5 touchdowns in one game. Barkley
still didn't win the competition.
Still able to beat him. I forget what the stakes were, but Kramer said he's ready to double or nothing.
I owe Kramer a jersey, so when I come over to the studio, I got you something from here at work.
Hell yeah.
Kramer, I'm bringing you something, buddy.
Yes.
I respect bets. I don't double or nothing. You won.
Do you have a?
Hot take in the AFC North. The Ravens are finishing last.
Oh.
There it is. You heard it here first.
What's that price, Ryan?
Oh, let me pull it up.
Why is Lamar Jackson the only player in the NFL that the last 2 years don't count?
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Watson too. Well, two of your quarterbacks in your division actually have had a couple years that we're just going to completely erase.
I'm not touching Deshaun Watson.
Watson has 23 counts as in counting.
So he was still putting up numbers, just not on the field.
You have to know when to call.
Yeah, load management. plus 350 for the Ravens.
Ravens fourth place plus 350. Yeah, I mean, we did that show last night, and I had them going 8 and 9. So I'm with you. I think Ravens could be the odd man out. I didn't have them going fourth because I think I actually had Cleveland below them, but I respect the spicy take.
I mean, Sean, I have the Ravens and Steelers going 12 and 5, the Bengals going 11 and 6, and the Browns going 9 and 8. So
yes, we need to tally up the number of wins you've awarded, Ryan. I feel like it's dangerously high.
I've gone too high.
Serial in the chat saying 10 and 7. Jared, who I think is a Bengals fan, maybe not, was 11 and 6. Christopher Reese has Bengals 17 and 0. So I'm guessing.
Oh, nice.
he might be a Bengals fan there.
I like him. He seems smart.
Bengals to start 5 and 0. Ryan, can you find a price on that?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
They might not have that because of the weirdness with the Burrow and the foot stuff.
5-1.
Okay. All right.
They start slow though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No minus 750. Easy money.
I'm not touching that because they could again. A lot of the early season, September, I think, will be.
Sean, what was that conference price you gave?
6-1.
750 to have the most wins
in the regular season.
Yeah. NFC too.
Oh, for the entire league.
Yeah.
I'll stick with the AFC. I feel like that's our best out for this Bengals team. They get to the playoffs, get hot.
And for whoever threw out 17 for Christopher Reese, Bengals to go 17 and 0 is 65-1. I'm going to give you a parental advice here. Those odds are horrible. Do not, whatever you do not bet that.
Yes. If you're going to do any of these like entire season bets, you're just better off hey, you got $1,000 or whatever, bet it Bengals money line. Then that money you win, rebet that. We call that the mechanical parlay.
I just stumbled into most improved regular season team odds. Hadn't seen those before.
Yeah, just dropping. What are the what was jumping out at you, right?
Oh, nothing. The fact that they were there, I was like, this is exciting. And if you think they're gonna go 17, what'd they go last year? 13 and 4,
12 and 4 because they didn't have that last.
Oh,
game.
That's right. So if they improve by 5 wins, they are 100-1 to be the most improved team. So that's a better price than 65-1.
Ryan, you know who I like obviously for most improved is Tennessee Titans.
Oh.
I'm coming off a 7-win season.
We might have to do some investment later.
Yes, we'll have some more. Just 75-1.
Oh no!
All right. Sorry, getting distracted.
You're getting distracted.
Closing things out. AFC North. I think it would be.
Well, I was gonna say last one. I do think it probably would be smart to fade Mixon 825.5 rushing yards.
Okay. Just because of he is on trial for aggravated menacing.
He's on trial right now. It does seem like
that could be a bad sign.
At minimum, he's like the guy that they're willing to be like, all right, like you took the pay cut, cool, but you're still on. 825.5 means he's playing a lot of the season. I mean, if he's healthy and he plays the season, it's going to look stupid, but you got to fade that, I think. Yes.
You know what that music means? Time for our favorite segment. Who will be the Cincinnati Bengals MLD, aka the most likely DGen, aka the person we think could get suspended for betting on the NFL or other betting related crimes, according to the NFL. Justin, you have the floor. Who is your Cincinnati Bengals MLD?
You didn't even need to make the intro. We could have just went straight from the Mixon talk straight into this conversation because, of course, it's Joe Mixon. Are you kidding me?
He is on trial currently for aggravated menacing. The headlines today are a lot of whether or not he pointed a gun at someone. That seems like a guy. If he's not afraid to point a gun, maybe he's not afraid to fire on some parlays.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon, not afraid to get in trouble. Certainly. Kramer,
right,
do you want to go or you want me to go?
You can go first. You're almost 100% chance not going to have.
Okay, my 2023 MLD is Tyler Boyd. That's right. This is actually from last season, news story. There was a little team building event between Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. And they were like, "Hey, where should we go for a trip?" Tyler Boyd said, "We have to go to Las Vegas." Quote, "You have to have your shit set up right. You can't just go to Vegas just thinking you're going to party and just get a nice table." So this is a guy who thinks about Vegas a lot. It said Tyler Boyd, quote, "A frequent Vegas visitor," said there will be some team theme regalia provided when he reserves the table, including cardboard cutouts of each of the players. Again, if you are that meticulous when it comes to planning out your Las Vegas trip, I think you're also getting down a little gambling. Maybe he downloads an app in Nevada, forgets that, hey, I'm back in Ohio.
What do you mean?
Ryan, we were just out in Ohio, in Canton, Ohio. Very easy to download the apps.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, am I on the team's Wi-Fi or am I on 5G? Next thing you know, it's funny to think a lot of these guys could have saved millions of dollars just by turning off the Wi-Fi, like $2 million down the drain just by hitting the wrong button there. So Tyler Boyd, my Cincinnati Bengals, MLD.
Okay, so again, I'm going after a civilian, and so for that reason, we're just going to say the Office of Security, we'll say the Chief Security Officer for the Bengals. I actually looked into it. The guy who's currently in that position, I'm not going to say his name. He was a former state patrolman.
Don't need to get pulled over.
Not going to say his name, but and he was on the 9/11 Commission working for the FBI. Where a lot of years spent over there. I wonder if he found anything, but. Did you know that this organization, the Bengals, since the year 2000, they lead the league in arrests?
Yes,
by over two times as many as the next team.
Yes,
according to the Bleacher.
Pac-Man Jones. Do the Cincinnati Bengals lead the league in NFL arrests?
Yes, sir.
Since the year 2000, according to a number of articles from Bleacher Report and CBS Sports and a couple others, I patched them together. They have 87 arrests. From what I can tell from documentation, the next closest team has fewer than 40. Yeah. So the chief security officer of one of the cheapest, again, they're the cheapest team in the NFL, I think. Maybe they should spend a couple more dollars on orientation to help these guys understand. Like, get Chris Carter. He's available. He can come over and be like, look, just have a friend hold your gun. Have a friend hold your shit. Have a friend hold the bullets.
Easy enough.
And much like Tyreek Hill does, make sure you have a security team to keep the professionals away from you.
Yes, as we saw firsthand. All right, closing out, Ryan, with some of our predictions here. Kramer down on the Bengals with only 11-6. Me, Houday, got him going 13-4. Justin 14-3. Kramer likes third in the division. He likes a couple of situations where they're third with Steelers and Ravens top two.
Sean, that looks like a horse bet, right?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
I'm
just
on
a superfecta.
Justin and I like them to win the AFC at 6-1. I like Cincinnati and Pittsburgh exacta box at plus 340. T. Higgins plus 550 for most receiving yards in the AFC North. Feels doable there. Justin also in on Burrow MVP. Them to win the AFC North. And Ravens to come in fourth place, dropping there. That's a nice plus 350. Justin's MLD is Joe Mixon. I'm going with Tyler Boyd. Kramer, the Bengals security office. We need a perfect time for a Paul Blart for the Photoshop
on the Segway.
Yes, Paul Blart on the Segway. What better way to close it out?
Well, and shout out to our merch store.
Yes,
I'm wearing the sick ass first half unders. But Sean, we will all the proceeds to draft day shit. So go buy some draft day shit.
Yes, draft day happening Thursday, noon Pacific, 24 hours straight. Kramer and Andrew Robb drafting teams for charity, putting the teams on their back.
Oh, his name's not on the marquee, just mine.
Justin, obviously stand-up comedian as well. Where can people check you out? You got your Instagram. What's going on?
Yeah, if you could actually really help. I'm actually starting Justin in the Jungle, a Bengals podcast.
Oh yes, Right around the corner.
I'm getting ready to go to that. I got a few clips I'm going to be releasing later this week, and please follow Justin in the Jungle. Trying to get that going.
And that's on Twitter, Instagram.
Right now, just Instagram, and then I'm downloading StreamYard and all that fun stuff this week.
Sweet.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for Justin in the Jungle.
I'm picturing cover art with like a Tarzan Photoshop and then like a big Bengal tiger.
Absolutely.
You need to
Harambe sitting up on a branch.
Yes, you need to be in like full like Photoshop as if you're a Bengal tiger. And I gotta recommend, as a fellow podcaster, you need some like sweet jungle cat sound effects. We have our own here. You can feel free to use the Kramer one.
There's more cats than we could have ever anticipated.
It's beautiful. How do we go through the whole Bengals episode? Yeah. I'm so glad he
can't reach the board from over here.
Exactly.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Hit up the Patreon again, Circus Sports and Game Time promo code SGPN for the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan. Kramer. Let it ride.